who came into 2017 with high expectations, and in the early season, it's borne out that way. Massapequa off to a 5-0 undefeated start. Smithtown East has won 4 straight and are 5-2. Today they clash at Smithtown East, next on News 12 Varsity. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Smithtown East High School. Matt Shortis with you this morning for a great early season showdown. Massapequa and Smithtown East, a rematch of the 2014 Long Island Championship. That year, Massapequa went on to win the state title. And these two teams, as we said, they're off to hot starts. Massapequa 5-0, coming off a 4-1 victory over Cary. Tim Radomski, their head coach, said Cary just sat in his zone all game, and they weren't really going to push it. They might have been looking ahead to this game as well, but bottom line for them is they came out of that game with a victory. Smithtown East already with one big win earlier this week over the crosstown rivals Smithtown West. They added to that with a win over Bayshore midweek, so they have won 4 straight, and they come in as hot as anybody. Massapequa's offense is led by the third-year starter, Brendan Nickturn. He's leading the way with 16 goals and 13 assists for the West Point commit, and he's the guy that's really kind of taken the reins. A couple of years ago, it was Ryan Tierney taking over for Craig Burge, and now Brendan Nickturn stepping into that role as a leader on the offense and kind of shouldering that role for Massapequa. Smithtown East, Connor DeSimone has been a monster over the last few games. He's had 8 points in 2 of his last 3 games, 22 goals and 19 assists for the second-year starter at Attack. He's a 4-year starter overall, for the only returning All-American that Smithtown East has from last year. So it's Smithtown East and Massapequa coming up next on News 12 Varsity.
It's the reason we keep watching, because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all. The face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Welcome back to Smithtown East High School, the home of the Smithtown East Bulls. Massapequa coming in 5-0, coached by Tim Radomski out of Berner High School in his 9th season as head coach. His starting lineup. The Attack is James Hall, Timmy Lay, and Brendan Nickturn. The first line midfield will be Shane Gibbons, Sal Iana, and Kyle Corbin. A close defense of Griffin Hawthorne, Brian Lenahan, Mike Pico, and Mike Venezia is in goal. Smithtown East coming off the win over Bayshore, 5-2 on the season, coached by Jason Lambert in his 10th year. The starting attack will be Barry, Latini, and DeSimone. The first line midfield of Villani, Burns, as well as Eschbach. A close defense of Trebig, Peters, and Cosgrove, and Thomas Harkin is between the pipes. We saw him earlier this week, and he had a really nice game against Smithtown West. Brian Herbert will start at the face-off X for Smithtown East between him and Steve Cucurello, 2 top-notch face-off men. And for Massapequa, it'll be Angelo Petrakis, the sophomore, who is verbally committed to Lehigh. Massapequa is in blue and Smithtown East is in white. Herbert's got it, and he gets it to the Attack right away. Earlier this week on Monday when we saw Smithtown East in their win over Smithtown West, it was the Attack that got going early right away. Sean Barry, Latini, and DeSimone each had a goal in that first quarter. Connor DeSimone, our highlight player, coming off a performance where he had 3 goals and 5 assists against Bayshore. Here's Luke Eschbach. Eschbach the dodge, cutting back over to the right. Slide from the defense. Good job by Massapequa. They cut it back over. Bobby Burns will swing it back around to Eschbach. Here is DeSimone at X. DeSimone returning All-American, checked out of his stick by Griffin Hawthorne. DeSimone recovers, though. Massapequa changing up the uniforms this year on the road. Simple blue and white, little Penn State look. Here's a shot on the run, wide off the left side from Bobby Burns. Played a little over a minute in this first quarter. Non-league game. Up top, Eschbach loads and fires the save by Venezia. And then Venezia will clamp down on the rebound and try to outlet. Massapequa's defense has been pretty stout through the 5-0 start. Quick transition. Here comes Sal Iana and the first offensive series for Massapequa. They allowed just the 1 goal to Cary earlier this week. We get a first look at the Massapequa Attack led by Brendan Nichtern and his 29 points. Here's Kyle Corwin, a first-line midfield, senior heavy for Massapequa. But they have some great midfield depth, some young guys on that second midfield who have a lot of talent. Here's Shane Gibbons, the two Gibbons brothers, three-sport athletes from Massapequa. Knocked away. Christian Villani, the long pull midfielder, in some trouble. Did Lambert get a timeout ahead of that? And yes, he did. So Jason Lambert called the timeout just prior to the turnover or near turnover from Smithtown East. Well, these two teams, when they meet, the scoring usually is fast-paced and up high. The first meeting a couple of years ago in that Long Island Championship game in 2014 at Hofstra, it was Massapequa winning 13-12. En route to a state title in that game, Ian Kirby led the Chiefs in scoring, 3 goals and assists, along with Griff Barnathan at 3 points. Ryan Tierney, now at Hofstra, had 3 points, and Craig Burge at Georgetown had a goal as well. Smithtown East was led by Brian Willits, 5 goals in that game. Dan Rooney, now a freshman at Ohio State, had 3 points, as did John Danigelis. And then last year, almost to the day, March 26th, it was Smithtown East winning 17-16. Connor DeSimone had 5 points, 4 goals and assists. James Hall led the way for Massapequa with 5 goals in that game. So Massapequa and Smithtown East scoreless. Smithtown East just using the timeout. Up top, Eschbach straight away. Little hesitation. Eschbach, sidearm shot, wings it wide. A lot of transfers for Massapequa on the defensive side of the ball, the close defense, as well as the goalie Venezia coming back into the district within the last couple of years from Chaminade. Here's Bobby Burns off the left side. Burns coming off a good performance against Smithtown West earlier in the week. Here's DeSimone towing the crease. DeSimone, Eschbach recovers, goes top shelf and scores. Boy, a low pass by Connor DeSimone off the off-stick side to the hip, and Eschbach went backhand, picked it up, went over the top, and went top shelf over Venezia. So DeSimone and Eschbach hook up for the first goal of the game.
Number 27, Brian Herbert, to take the face-off for the Bulls.
And Smithtown East on top, 1-0. Herbert out there along with Petrakis. And Herbert 2 for 2 on the face-offs. And Brian Herbert committed to Hofstra. He's a little bit more of the traditional Fogo out of the two. Underhand shot. Just going wide by Barry. Don Pizzulli in at X now. Eschbach already with the goal. Double team slides over to him. DeSimone now. DeSimone right on the crease. Shot fake goal by Pizzulli. Well, that shows you how effective Connor DeSimone can be even when he's not shooting the ball. He's now set up 2 goals, getting his second assist, and Pizzulli sneaking in right on the crease through one shot fake and Mike Venezia. And was able to bounce it home. 2-0 Smithtown East. The goals come 35 seconds apart. Herbert back to the X. He's won both. Massapequa winning a face-off. Steve Mahan, the ground ball off the wing. And it's been a while since the Chiefs have had a possession. Mahan trying to save it, but stepped on the sideline. Massapequa right now could use some possession, but Smithtown East has it on their own defensive end. Oh, Mike Marino just bowling over Timmy Lay. And Smithtown East back to it. Here's DeSimone. DeSimone on the right side, shooting on the run and scores. The hot start for Smithtown East. And Connor DeSimone has factored into all three Smithtown East goals. '23rd goal of the season for Connor DeSimone. Not a huge surprise in the sense that Smithtown East, they've been winning the face-offs. They've had the possession. Herbert again. A clean win. Just keeps going back to work. And as Herbert comes off, he gets a good hand from the Smithtown East fans on this side of the field. We've played just about 5 minutes in this one. Smithtown East leading 3-0. First goal coming 3 minutes in. DeSimone and Eschbach hooking up. And DeSimone finding Pazzulli on the crease. And thirdly, DeSimone scoring on the run. Here's Mike Marino. Marino lost the ball for a moment. Able to recover in the corner. Here is DeSimone. Met DeSimone behind the back, just going wide. Little shovel shot. Here's Luke Eschbach straight away. Roll dodge from Eschbach. Well, Massapequa's been very quick to slide, but it's left guys open. Shot ringing off the post. Ground ball to Sal Iana. Iana over midfield. And Massapequa needs to let their offense work some clock here. Sal Iana had it lost out of his stick. Massapequa recovers, though. The ground ball to Shane Gibbons. Shots 8-0 in favor of Smithtown East. More than midway through this first quarter. Here's a sophomore, Sam Lufty. Brendan Nickturn. Nickturn to a knee, able to recover. Back at X now. And Lufty. Another commit verbally to Hofstra. Nickturn, we talked about in our open. West Point commit, leader of this offense. Lefty load and explode off the crossbar. Recovered by Lufty on a ground ball. He's got the long pull on him. Lufty up top in for Linsky. Linsky falling down as he shoots. Bouncer going wide. Delayed penalty. Did I see a flag? No. Take it back. Here's James Hall. Hall will slow it down for the moment. Third-year starter. The senior committed to Adelphi. Back up top for Linsky. Transition back to the midfield from Attack last year. Longest possession of the game for Massapequa without a doubt. Well, give and go Nickturn, and now he'll isolate an X. Massapequa 4 across the crease. Nickturn, eyes up. Now it's Garant Gibbons, the sophomore. Gibbons pushed out. He's got Eschbach on him defensively. They'll shovel it off. Back for James Hall coming GLE. Straight away the sophomore Lufty. Lefty shot on the run up tie. Harkin. And Harkin just stuck that stick right up there and made a fairly simple save. .322 to go in the first quarter. Brian Cosgrove bring the ball up. And then Cosgrove will get rid of it and clear off. Bobby Burns will wait for help to come on. So fruitful possession for Massapequa in the sense that they got a good shot off. They had some good possession, but still they come away empty-handed. Smithtown East had that quick spurt between 9 minutes and 7:33 of the first quarter. All three of their goals coming in that minute 27-second span. DeSimone now will pull it out. Gets a screen, works to his right. DeSimone shooting again from that right alley and scores. Scored his first goal from that same spot on the field a few minutes ago and gets to that comfortable zone and nets another one. Connor DeSimone has 4 points already for Smithtown East. 2 goals, 2 assists, coming off an 8-point performance against Bayshore earlier in the week. Brian Herbert back to the X, as is Petrakis for Massapequa. Herbert called for the infraction on a hold. Here's Sal Iena, the first line midfield back out. It's Shane Gibbons, Sal Iena. And Kyle Corwin. Here's Gibbons. Well played defensively by DeSimone. So DeSimone sliding to the midfield. Get some guys free in the attack for Smithtown East. Back at X, good ball moving quickly for Massapequa, but it's knocked down on the crease. Scooped up by Bobby Burns of Smithtown. Here come the Bulls charging once again. 1:38 to go in the first quarter. Right inside on the crease to the long pole, just going wide for Garrico. And Garrico will quickly scurry off. Eschbach comes back in. You know, his eyes were bright. Garrico knocking himself in the helmet as that shot went wide. Here's DeSimone, who's been so strong today. He's got the Poland Hawthorne on him. DeSimone stood up like a wall, though, with Hawthorne. And elects to work it around. Under a minute to go in the first quarter, 4-0. Smithtown East with the lead. Burns moving inside. And Burns lost a handle on an outlet pass, though. Gets away, and Smithtown East recovers. Eschbach finding Latini on the right side. Latini, who missed the first few games of the season, has played in the last 3. 16 points in those 3 games. To the right side, and Eschbach lost it for a moment, recovers though. 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Here's Latini trying to give off. Gets all the way through. Eschbach covers it up, and it's stopped by Venezia. 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. Long pass ahead. Hawthorne moving it forward. Massapequa will not have time to get a shot off. As 12 minutes in, Smithtown East dominating time of possession and dominating the shot clock as well. They lead 4-0 with 1 quarter in the book. Stay with us on News 12 Varsity.
the reason we keep watching. Because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all. The face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Second quarter about to begin. 4-0 Smithtown East leading Massapequa and two of the top teams. A matchup of two of the top teams on Long Island. Brian Herbert has taken all four, now 5 faceoffs for Smithtown East. Same for Petrakis of Massapequa. And Herbert has won all but one of them. Kicked down forward by Villani.
East controls the ball.
Looking right on the crease, Villani's got it. Villani will have both a short and long stick at various points of the game. First line midfielder, but for the faceoff, they give him a pole and get him on the wing. He goes off for the senior Connor Rowan. Rowan had a nice matchup against Smithtown West earlier this week. Eschbach straight away to the right side. It comes for Burns. There's Burns, one cradle, starts to move towards his left. Those two up top, they intersect and weave forward. Burns to the left, shot, saved by Venezia.
Saved by number 6, Mike Venezia.
And Massapequa will try and clear. Seems defensively the Chiefs have settled down a little bit. Here's the sophomore Lufty. The second line midfield on for Massapequa. Tim Radomski calls this line the Pup Line because it's the young guys, underclassmen. You have Logan Tucker, a freshman, Sam Lufty, a sophomore, Garant Gibbons, a sophomore. There's Nick Turn off a screen. Nick Turn has the short stick Burns on him. All-conference performer last year was Nick Turn. Looking right on the crease, shot, Massapequa's on the board. Tim Lay puts it home in the top right corner. And a new quarter, a new start for the Chiefs as they find their first goal of the game.
Assist by number 22, Brendan Nichtman. Bulls lead 4-1 with 9:53 to go in the second quarter.
So Nick Turn finding Lay right on the crease. Patience paying off for Massapequa. And how balanced is Brendan Nick Turn now? 16 goals, 14 assists on the season. As Tim Lay notches his 10th goal of the year. Herbert coming away with another face-off win, but he's hounded on the wing. Defensively, Steve Mahan had it for a moment, and we'll have a whistle and a timeout taken by Massapequa. Well, yesterday, the NCAA Division I Council passed Rule 2016-26, which would restrict college coaches from talking to lacrosse recruits before September 1st of their junior year. Now, it's not official. It still needs to be voted on by the NCAA Board of Directors. That's coming up later in the month on April 26th. But talk to both coaches before the game. Tim Radomski and Jason Lambert, is obviously they're right in the thick of this when it comes to early recruiting and a bunch of their guys being directly affected by this, and they were both in favor of it. You talk to high school coaches, you talk to college coaches, everybody is in favor of a rule that is going to prohibit early recruiting. In a sense, it's almost saving the college coaches from themselves, because there were a couple coaches, obviously getting that leg up, and then all of a sudden everybody has to recruit earlier and earlier and earlier, and you're seeing 8th graders getting recruited, and that doesn't mean that the recruiting process is going to stop. The showcases will still be there. The coaches can still kind of send feelers through the high school coaches, but it limits the ability of the college coach to talk to a potential commit or prospect before September 1st of their junior year, and that is going to go into effect should it become officially official. It's going to go into effect August 1st, so it will go into effect later this summer. Here's Kyle Corwin for Massapequa, that first line senior group of midfielders back on. Fresh off their first goal of the game a couple minutes ago, 4-1, Smithtown East leading. Here's Saliana on a dodge, goal line extended for Nick Turn on the near side. Nick Turn, the pole on him. He's got Sam Volker on him. Anthony Volker, pardon me. Diana again straight away. Here's Kyle Corwin, a third-year player. Corwin and Shane Gibbons are guys that really developed and improved and impressed Tim Radomski over the course of the offseason into this season. Here's Iana, whose defender falls down. He takes a shot, goes in just under the crossbar before it pops out, but not before across the goal line. Iana's defender fell down. He recognized it, took a couple more steps in before he loaded and fired. Iana netting his 5th goal of the year. And Massapequa within 2 now, 8:34 to go in the first half. A procedure against Petrakis. Pardon me, against Herbert. Well, Herbert's been was so dominant in the first quarter. Even still, Massapequa starting to gain more possession through the first 3.5 minutes of this quarter. They have possessed the ball almost all of it. Here's the sophomore Lufty, who played some attack last year as a freshman. It's not often you get those freshmen that get to play on the varsity at Massapequa, but the ones that do generally have a long-lasting impact on the program throughout their 4 high school years. Left side coming up for Garant Gibbons. Another sophomore verbally committed to Maryland. And that rule now, it's interesting because guys like Gibbons who are sophomores, well, not so much Gibbons because he's going into his junior year, so it won't impact him too much, but freshmen that are committed already or verbally committed, they now basically have a freeze where the coach cannot reach out to them. They can reach out to the coach, but the college coach that they are verbally committed to cannot reach out to them. Here's Nick Turn again at X. Nick Turn with his eyes up. Hard hit, goes to the ground, somehow still holds on to the ball, gets back up, spins in front, shot, saved by Harkin. Pops back up to the left side, shot, another save, and a flag is down. And it looks like Massapequa will have the man advantage. First penalty of the game, and it's against Smithtown East. A cross-check is going to be the official call. And who is serving it? Looks like it's going against Anthony Volker. Dylan and I talked about this on the broadcast on Monday earlier this season. The last Smithtown East loss, in fact, against John Jay. Smithtown East had one of their worst games in terms of penalties they've had in a long time. They committed 9 penalties, and John Jay made them pay on a bunch of them. So first man-up chance of the game for either team. It goes to Massapequa. A minute penalty on the cross-check by Volker. Lufty's got it on the right wing. Up top for Nick Turn. We've seen him so much at X, now at the top of the box. Passing around the perimeter at the moment. Bailey Conan as well out on that man-up unit for Massapequa. Right side shot, goal for Tim Lay. It's a man-up goal for Massapequa. And after being down 4-0, they're back within one. It's 4-3, Smithtown East.
6 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the second. For Massapequa, number 28, Angelo Petrakis to take the faceoff.
Tim Lay netting his second goal of the contest. It's an extra man goal, so the cross-check by Volker does end up hurting Smithtown East. Herbert getting the face-off win, checked out of his stick. Good hard check by Matt Wygand. So Massapequa, even though they've not been cleanly winning the face-off, the wing play has been much better in this second quarter, and it's allowed them to possess the ball quite a bit. Midway through the second, Smithtown East leading 4-3. All 4 Smithtown East goals coming in the first. All 3 Massapequa goals coming in the second. Getting our first look at Logan Tucker. Here's Kyle Corwin. Corwin shooting on the run, going in the bottom right corner, and we are tied at 4.
Massapequa goal is by number 16, Kyle Corwin. We have a tie game with 5 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
So for as out of sync as Massapequa looked in that first quarter, they are very quickly in sync in quarter number 2 with 5:35 to go. Smithtown East, having surrendered 4 straight, wants to talk it over. Well, we talked about some of the big matchups that these two teams have had over the last couple of years. 2 of the guys who figured prominently in those games, Ryan Tierney and Gerard Arceri, seniors last year, both having big impacts in their freshman collegiate years. Ryan Tierney, of course, playing attack for his dad Seth. Then Hofstra, the number 2 Hofstra Pride, off to a 10-0 start. Ryan Tierney second on the team in scoring, 20 goals, 13 assists. And they continue their season tonight at 7 against Drexel at home. Gerard Arceri, he's not only started at the faceoff X, but been impressive. 66% of his faceoffs for Penn State, 4 goals as well for the number 7 Penn State Nittany Lions, who suffered their first loss of the year last week to Maryland. They get back to it in a brutal Big Ten against Hopkins today. So we had the pleasure of watching them over their 4-year high school careers, and they have gone on and made immediate impacts on their college campuses as well. Brian Herbert, Jisa, and Angelo Petrakis out for the face-off. Again, Herbert coming away with it. Petrakis bothering him, but Herbert comes up with it. The first settled situation for Smithtown East in this second quarter past the midway point. Here's Herbert, sees an opening, decides not to take it, and shuttles off, gets it to DeSimone. So under 5 to play in this first half. Mike Marino now Rowan with it. Connor Rowan will play collegiately at the Coast Guard Academy. Here's Luke Eschbach. Wearing that number 44, an important number for Smithtown East. Turnaround shot for Marino, just pulled wide left. Sean Barry was closest to it as it went out of bounds, so Smithtown East will maintain the possession with Connor DeSimone there. And DeSimone factored into all 4 Smithtown East goals, 2 goals, 2 assists. Marino checked on the back check right as he tried to release that shot. Massapequa's got the ground ball. Lead pass ahead for Garant Gibbons. The sophomore Gibbons has Rowan on his hip, and he veers to his right and gets it into a settled offensive situation. 4:05 to go in the first half of a tied ball game, knotted up at 4. Smithtown East started the game with 4 goals in the first quarter. Massapequa has answered with 4 in the second quarter. Saliana, a 4-year varsity player, has a goal today. Committed to Binghamton. Here's the sophomore lefty. Now Iana with it again. Iana scored from there a moment ago and scores again from the right side. 5 straight goals for Massapequa, and they have their first lead of the game.
Massapequa leads 5-4 with 3:24 remaining in the second quarter. The face-off will be Angelo Petrakis for Massapequa.
And what's been impressive for Massapequa on this run is that they've had to possess the ball in different ways because they've not been winning the faceoffs cleanly. So it's either been the wing play or on the defense, they've been forcing turnovers from Smithtown East. Herbert won it initially. Petrakis staying with it, and Petrakis wins the ground ball. Checked out of his hands by Villani. Here comes Villani, the pole for Smithtown East. Feeds to Connor DeSimone with 3:07 to go. And Smithtown East, for the first time today, finds themselves trailing on the scoreboard. Luke Eschbach and Connor Rowan with it. Connor Rowan now on the run. Rowan feeding back to Eschbach, who loads plenty of time, but shoots it wide. And a lot of power behind that one. He stepped into it. Connor DeSimone rolling on the crease. Hesitates, comes GLE. DeSimone lost it for a moment, recovers. Like Griffin Hawthorne has done a very good job on DeSimone today, despite the fact that DeSimone's got the 4 points individually with the ball in his stick. He's not giving him a lot of room to operate. Here's Eschbach. Defense coming over again. Eschbach unwinds one. And missing target. 2:15 showing on the clock. And we'll have a Massapequa timeout. With that time remaining in the first half of play.
All the proceeds go to the boys and girls lacrosse team.
Well, Smithtown East has won 4 straight games, all in Suffolk County League One. We take a look at some of the standings in Suffolk. Ward Melville, 5-1 overall. They have a 5-0 record within the conference, within the league as well. Connecticut also the only other undefeated team in league play at 4-0. West Islip 5-1. They lost that one game to Ward Melville. Smithtown East at 4-1. They lost the first game of the season by a goal to Comac. And then you have Lindenhurst and Smithtown at 4-1 as well. Of course, West lost earlier this week to East. Lindenhurst lost to Smithtown West. So that's really the top 8 if you include Bayshore in there at 5-2. Hills East has had some impressive wins as well. But the defending Long Island champs sit atop the standings. Their only loss of the season to Chaminade. Game we had on News 12 Varsity last Saturday.
14 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
So Massapequa called the timeout defensively, trying to hold on to this 1-goal advantage or add to it before the first half comes to a close at Smithtown East with the possession. Here's DeSimone trying to back his way in, fights inside of Hawthorne and puts it in. Connor DeSimone's got a hat trick today. And we're tied up at 5. Well, that ends the 5 straight goal streak for Massapequa. And Connor DeSimone now at the 25 goal mark. 7.5 games into the season. And continues just to amass the points the last few games. He's got 5 points today in this first half. Herbert the clean face-off win. DeSimone looking right on the crease to Latini. Latini thought he got hacked. Minute 30 to go in the first half. Burns has the short stick on him. Burns waiting, lefty shot. Smithtown East scoring 2 goals. 33 seconds apart, and they are back on top. First goal today for Bobby Burns. 13th of the season for the Penn State commit and the second-year starter.
For the Bulls, number 27, Brian Herbert.
Herbert and Petrakis again. Petrakis with the win for Massapequa. Dangerous pass. Venezia had it knocked down. A battle for it. DeSimone riding Venezia hard. No timeouts for Massapequa. Venezia pushes forward. Hawthorne able to get it across. Massapequa's got to get it in before they have a failure to advance. Step into the box. And finally, the Chiefs can exhale a little bit with 52 seconds left in the first half. You hear a hold coming from the Massapequa side. Let this thing run down. Don't force anything too early. 30 seconds left in the half. Here's Sal Iana, who's got 2 goals today, charging from this spot on the field. Iana pass fake, cuts inside his defender. Iana's shot deflected on the way to goal. Out of bounds with 16 seconds to go, and James Hall will bring it back in for the Chiefs. Here's Garant Gibbons. Gibbons shooting on the run, top shelf. We're all tied at 6.
Massapequa goal is by number 7, Garant Gibbons. We're all tied up, 6-6, with 6 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
The sophomore Garant Gibbons netting his 4th goal of the year. And one of those young pups on the Pup Line paying dividends.
Massapequa, number 28, Angelo Petrakis to take the face-off. For the Bulls, number 27.
A 6.8 seconds show on the first half clock. There's Herbert on the face-off win. Herbert moving quickly. Villani on a bounce shot just before the horn goes wide. A tale of 2 different quarters. Smithtown East, the huge start. Massapequa gained their composure in the second. And we are tied at halftime. It's 6-6, Smithtown East and Massapequa.
You watch because it's your home, your school, your team, because it's your brother, sister, daughter, and son. Because you love the "can you believe it, did you see that?" and the "oh my goodness, what a win" moments. So yeah, you watch. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Tie game as we get ready to start the third quarter. And shortest, Josh Drebsky, Pat McCormick with you. And Petrakis, who started to feel a little more comfortable at the face-off X and get into a groove towards the end of that second quarter, wins the first face-off here. Here's Massapequa on the run, shooting and scoring his hole. And Massapequa back on top, 13 seconds into the quarter. That's Hall's first goal of the game, 11th of the season. Well, Steve Cucurullo has been sitting helmet off and no pads on all games, so we didn't get word from it. It doesn't appear that he will play today, especially with Herbert taking all the faceoffs. That'll be an infraction on Petrakis. And Smithtown East will have it. And no qualms, especially early on. Herbert was doing a fantastic job at the X. Massapequa has led for the second time today. A shot on the run. Venezia right there for it. Mike Venezia Jr. is verbal to Lehigh. He transferred back in this year from Chaminade. So his first year on the Massapequa varsity. And he's been good for them so far. 25 saves coming in, including just giving up the one goal on 11 shots faced against Cary earlier in the week. And the Chiefs back to it. Kyle Corwin with it. Matchup of two of the top 10 teams on Long Island in our MSU varsity poll. Saliana on the run, shot fake or pass fake. Gibbons feeding it across. Was it deflected or no? It was not. Goes out of bounds. Turnover on the Chiefs. Smithtown a little trouble getting it over midfield. Able to find Rowan. And the Chiefs have it 2 minutes, or the Bulls have it, pardon me, 2 minutes into the third quarter, trailing by a goal. Here's Burns, tucks on a face dodge, back up top. Rowan takes it. That pass might have been intended for Eschbach. But Rowan saw an opportunity, pulled it just wide. DeSimone, who had the hot start for Smithtown East. Eschbach steps into one and shoots it high. Right side again, another bouncer, missing the cage. So Venezia is seeing a lot of shots coming his way on this possession. Nothing quite there yet, though. Left side, again, another one going wide. Sean Barry. There's Burns bringing it in. Burns shooting wide again. So Smithtown figuring just take a whole lot of shots. Eventually, something's got to find its way. Already 6 in the quarter. Only 1 on goal, though. Here's DeSimone trying to back his way in. DeSimone, his pass bounces its way over to Eschbach. Eschbach ranging to his right. And eventually he pulls it back out. Shane Gibbons there defensively. Gibbons trying to force him to his left. Roll dodge to the right side. It comes. Here's Burns getting around a defender. Burns shooting high and scores.
Smithtown East goal. Put in by number 16, Bobby Burns. Off the pass for number 44, Luke Esbach. We have a tie game.
Burns netting goal number 2 today. And we are tied once again, this time at 7. Well, in the last 2 meetings last year, it was a 17-16 game. In the 2014 LIC, it was a 13-12 game.
For the Bulls, number 27, Brian Herbert.
So when these two teams get together, they are close games historically, at least recent history. Herbert thought he had it. Petrakis comes away with it cleanly, though. Mahan. He'll dump and get off. Sam Lefty, Sal Iana come on. So Tim Radomski has changed up the midfield lines at times today. Lefty getting bumped up to what amounts to that first line. Gibbons and Lefty on with the senior Sal Iana. Here's Iana to the left side for Lay. Lay's got a couple goals so far this afternoon. We've played 4+ in this third quarter, tied at 7. Iana on the pass fake. Iana goal line extended. Feeds it back behind the cage for Brendan Nickturn. And Nickturn, their leading scorer, the QB of their offense, he initiates from X. The sophomore lefty swing it around. Ball dropped by Iana. He's able to recover, though. Massapequa taking some time, slowing down a little bit. Here's Tim Lay. Lay, shot fake. And pulled it just wide. A tough angle shot from Tim Lay. Pass fake got the defender shaken off a moment. Pass knocked away, ball to the ground. Iana and Villani comes up with a ground ball. Villani in some trouble. He feeds it away to Barry. Barry with numbers. Rather Latini, now Barry's got it. And Smithtown East comes up with the turnover. 6:47 to go in the third. Here's Connor DeSimone looking right on the crease. Bouncer going high. Marino forced it quickly, had to rush it a little bit, and ended up short-arming the shot, took a bounce in front and went over the crossbar. Connor DeSimone shakes it, X turns and scores. Connor DeSimone, his 4th goal today.
And the Bulls take an 8-7 lead.
And Smithtown East back on top. So back and forth we go.
Brian Herbert.
We've had 5 lead changes, 4 ties to this point with 6:35 to go in the third quarter.
Herbert wins it and controls it.
Brian Herbert, the face-off win. Angelo Petrakis. Now Luke Eschbach. Under 6 to go in the third. Straight away is Eschbach. Scored the first goal of the game for Smithtown East 3 minutes into the contest. Eschbach around a check and puts it in.
That's the Smithtown East goal. Put in by number 44, Luke Eschbach.
3 straight goals for Smithtown East. First time they've done that since the first quarter, and they take a 2-goal advantage at 9-7. Trockus able to shovel it to Shane Gibbons, who can't hold on to it. Here comes Smithtown East. Bouncer going wide from Barry. Ball nearly got away from Mike Marino. Here is Marino, another Binghamton commit, all-county lacrosse last year. Marino shooting on the run. Venetia going down low for the stop. Here's Brian Lenahan feeding it ahead. Mike Pico in a little trouble. Pico able to get around it, though. He steps it in for Timmy Lay. Here is Lay. Lay is being hounded by Brian Cosgrove, another Binghamton commit on this Smithtown East team. It's the largest goal differential since it was 4-2 at the 8:34 mark of the second quarter. Freshman Logan Tucker on. 8 points on the season, 5 goals, 3 assists. Pass to the right side, getting away from Gibbons, and it is saved for the moment. Kept alive? No. Out of bounds. Well-timed check by Brian Cosgrove to force Lefty out. Marino got tied up, ball to the ground. Out of bounds once more. Smithtown East will have it. 3:59 to go in the third. Volker lost it as he was trying to transfer, it seemed. So an unforced error. Massapequa's got it back, and Massapequa throwing it around now. Neither team able to get much possession. A loose ball push against Smithtown East, and Massapequa will have it. Hall and Nick Turn going back and forth. James Hall, an all-conference soccer player. There's the sophomore lefty, changes direction. He reverse fields and feed it across. Nick Turn lost it for a moment. A scrum outside the crease. And the ball's loose behind the cage. Tim Lay picks it up. Unsettled situation now for the Chiefs. Can they capitalize? Smithtown East able to recover back into their 6-on-6 very quickly. The pace has slowed down significantly in the last 2.5 minutes or so from what we had to start the third quarter. Lefty off a screen from Nick Turn. Volker is on him. Able to feed to Nick Turn. Both those guys behind the cage. Nick Turn on a roll dodge. Double team comes over to him. He feeds up. Little head fake. They swing it back around for Tucker. Here's Garant Gibbons, the guy that Tim Radomski says is all over the field frequently. He's got a goal today. A little extended series for Massapequa. Very patient offense on this possession. We know that's something they could do quite well. They held the ball a lot against Carey. Quick pass to the right side for the freshman Tucker, who lost the ball. Feed ahead for Eschbach. He can't handle it for a moment. Massapequa recovers. Picked up by Mike Pico. Pico to the right side for Hall. And Hall will get it back ahead for Tim Lay. 1:23 to go in the third quarter. 9-7. Smithtown East on top. Massapequa holding on for the last 4 minutes of this quarter, basically. Garant Gibbons for Lay. Lay thought about uncorking that one with his back to the cage. Play comes from the Massapequa sideline. Here's Lufty. Left side for Lay. Lay shoots just wide. Tremendous angle and opportunity. Couldn't get it on cage. A timeout by Smithtown East with 29 seconds left in the third quarter. We looked at the Suffolk League One standings. Nassau County Conference 1. A couple of undefeated teams in conference. Farmingdale, Port Washington, both 3-0 within the conference. Massapequa and Syosset, both 2-0 within the conference. Overall, Pequa is 5-0. Syosset 5-1. Port Washington 5-2. And Farmingdale 5-1. And some big games coming up, as Massapequa really gets into the beefy part of their schedule. As they have Farmingdale later on in the week on Friday. Hicksville in the midweek, and then Syosset towards the end of the month. So those 2 Fridays coming up. First one at Burns Park against Farmingdale, and then the next one at Syosset on the 28th. Those 2 go a long way into determining the seeding in Nassau County Conference 1. Massapequa back to it. 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 2-goal lead for Smithtown East at 9-7. Here's James Hall, double to him. 6 seconds left. Hall trying to shake his hands free. 2 to shoot. Gibbons unaware of it. Gibbons just got off a shot, but a good defensive closeout to the third quarter for Smithtown East, as they end the third quarter scoring 3 straight and take a 2-goal lead to the fourth. It's 9-7 Smithtown East over Massapequa.
It's the reason we keep watching, because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all. The face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
We go back to the face-off X to begin the fourth quarter. 2-goal lead for Smithtown East. And the 2 that have been battling in that area all afternoon. Angelo Petrakis for Massapequa. Brian Herber, the senior for Smithtown East. Go right back to it. Ball pops loose, and it's picked up by Gibbons. Shane Gibbons of Massapequa. The Chiefs in blue moving right to left to begin the fourth quarter. And Smithtown East will be shooting off the goal to our right in this fourth quarter. Game that has had 5 lead changes, 3 ties. Four ties, I believe. I'm gonna let's check that. Here's Lufty. Up top to the right side. Pass fake moving inside. Nowhere to go for Tim Lay. That third quarter, Massapequa really became very deliberate in their offensive attack. Slowed things down quite considerably. Saw Smithtown West try to do that against East earlier this week. They got good opportunities, weren't hitting cage though. And a beautiful sunny day early to start. Clouds have popped up over the field at Smithtown East, and the wind kicking up a little bit as well. Here's Nick Turn off a screen. Nick Turn. Well, Smithtown East really boxing in and closing in the defense, not allowing a whole lot. Lefty again, the sophomore. The right side for Gibbons. Low pass handled though. The Massapequa offense not getting a whole lot. The defense of Smithtown East getting cheered upon here. A shot going wide. Kevin Linsky in for the first time. Pass getting away. Smithtown East has it for a moment. Ball popped out. The Chiefs with it in that far left corner. And finally it is Linsky to come away with it. The junior Kevin Linsky. A shot saved by Harkin. That one might have hit the very top of the stick head and carried out of bounds. A long possession for Massapequa to start this fourth quarter. Almost 3 minutes of possession time.
So 1 minute slashing penalty on the Bulls.
We'll have a penalty here as Brian Cosgrove committed a slashing penalty. So Massapequa will go on their second man-up chance of the game. They scored on the first one at the 6:24 mark of the second quarter. Goal by Tim Lay that at the time made it a 4-3 game. Up top left side for Gibbons. Trying to find James Hall on the crease. He's been calling for it quite a bit. There he is, Hall with it, falling down, turning and scoring. Well, Hall was practically begging for it, camped out inside. And finally they find him, and he scores an extra man goal. James Hall getting his second goal of the game. So the Chiefs back within one. 8:43 to go in the fourth quarter. Smithtown East leading 9-8. Herber with it. Big face-off win for Smithtown East. Trying to stave off the Chiefs. They've led by as many as 4. They started the game on a 4-0 run. And Massapequa came back to tie it up in the very next quarter at 4-4. And since then, we've been pretty much back and forth. Smithtown East, the 2-goal advantage, has been the largest since. Connor DeSimone tries to shake a bake. Feed across for Marino. Bounce shot going high over the cage. There's Connor DeSimone with it again. DeSimone found Pazzulli, but Pazzulli was a little too far down towards goal line extended. Had a tough angle on it. DeSimone turning, trying to shoot wide. Eschbach to the right side. And DeSimone with it. DeSimone, high pass for Eschbach. He gathers, shoots, and a stop by Venezia. Junior goalie standing up big, long pass ahead. They find Corwin in stride. 6.5 to go. 1-goal contest. Smithtown East leading 9-8. Corwin with it. Left side for Iana. He's got a couple today. Massapequa trying to tie it as we approach the midway point of the fourth. Pulled back out, look right on the crease, shot and a goal for Tim Lay. Lay nets the hat trick and we're tied at 9. Second time today in this quarter that Massapequa has utilized the crease attacker well. The first time on the EMO, it was Hull kind of camped out there. This time, Lay dodging hard without the ball. And we are all tied at 9. The 5th tie in the ball game. Herber on the face-off win. Petrakis tried to hack him off of it. And now an extra man coming up. Delayed penalty on Massapequa. Smithtown East has not gone man up today. Here's Latini with it. Latini again. Smithtown not in a hurry. They know they have that penalty on the way. Eschbach. Eschbach looking right on the crease. DeSimone with it. Back up top straight away. It's Eschbach. Eschbach bodied up. He's moving hard to the right. Bounce shot and a goal. That one snuck in under the crossbar. And Smithtown East back on top. It's 10-9. Eschbach netting his 3rd goal today. So this is indeed a potential LIC preview. We'd be in for a great one in May. A lot of lacrosse left to play. A lot of teams have a lot to say about that, both in Nassau and Suffolk. Herber, clean face-off win. And that's been a good chunk of the difference today for Smithtown East. The ability to control the face-off X. Shot from Eschbach. Venezia got the stop. Picked up by Smithtown East, and now Venezia's got it. Lobbed it ahead a little too strong, though. Trying to control the loose ball. Massapequa's got it for a moment. Timeout. Massapequa. Chiefs 5-0 on the season, trying to stay perfect on the young season. Also this year, they welcome back George Powers to the coaching staff, along with Tim Radomski. Powers, longtime coach in Nassau community. It's been to 20 Final Fours, 9 national championships at the junior college level. Plenty of Division I commits as well, and he's come back to the coaching staff. As his son, Mike Powers. Every assistant coach that Tim Radomski has, he's coached, and they've been part of the program at Massapequa for a while. Outside of George Powers, Tom Maloney, Eric Schneider, Mike Powers, Sonny Lappy. And right now, they find themselves down a goal with the ball, though. Shane Gibbons will have it for Massapequa out of the timeout. Gibbons a double team, trying to end around it. Played some QB on the Massapequa football team, so shown his scramble ability. Smithtown East is really extending the defense now. Gibbons able to get rid of it to James Hall, and he'll shuttle off. Some high fives and hugs on the sideline. Massapequa down a goal. 3:12 to go in the fourth quarter. Here's James Hall, who has had a huge impact on the fourth. A goal and an assist for the Chiefs. Time ticking off, under 3 minutes now. Hall on a roll dodge, Rowan on him. Up top for Iana. Here's Brendan Nickturn. Nickturn coming goal line extended, up top. Gibbons looking right on the crease. Hall had it for a moment and decided to get rid of it. Timmy Lay, pardon me. Lufty. Lufty on a roll dodge, shakes out his defender. Lufty right on the crease, getting away from James Hall. Ball is loose, still loose, and Massapequa's got it. It's Hall. Another timeout by the Chiefs. They use their second timeout. So they are out of timeouts with 1:56 to go. Look ahead to the Smithtown East schedule. Good little stretch coming up as well. Riverhead and West Islip this week. Quick date with Sachem East, and then the big one for them on April 27th against Ward Melville. That one at Ward Melville. A 1:56 to go in the fourth quarter. One goal game, Smithtown East leading 10-9. Huge ground ball a moment ago from James Hall. Nickturn trying to get around a screen. The Smithtown East defense has been very good in this fourth quarter despite giving up the 2 goals. Chiefs take it down to 1:28 now. Nick Turn has Rowan on him. He's got the short stick left side. Now Iana. Iana on the pass fake. Closing in on the final minute now in a one-goal game. Here's Iana. Iana pass fake. Lowers. Saved by Harkin. Rebound in front. Picked up by Lay. Lay's got it now under a minute to go. Here's Nick Turn. Nick Turn firing. Shooting it high. Paul is there for Massapequa. Now 52 seconds remaining. Nick Turn's got it. Nick Turn had a good chance at it. Turned around and fires high again. Chiefs starting to pepper the cage now with time winding down. .40 seconds left. Nick Turn again. Left side for Garant Gibbons. Under 30 seconds to go. Here's Lefty on a bounce. Harkin's there. Kick back to him, and he smothers on top of it. Ball's not in the crease, though. Ball squirts out. Out of bounds. And Massapequa's got it. Are they going to say that Smithtown East had a timeout? So the Smithtown East side is saying that Harkin was in the crease and it's his ball. The officials saying the ball was not in the crease. So Massapequa will have its Smithtown East timeout, 17 seconds left. And East has a one-goal advantage. They started this game scoring 4 straight to begin it. Eschbach, Pazzulli, and DeSimone had 2 in that first quarter. Then Massapequa scored the first 4 of the second quarter to tie it up at 4. And since then, back and forth, Massapequa took a 5-4 lead. At the end of 3 quarters, Smithtown East had regained control. 2 goals at the end of the third to make it 9-7. That was the largest lead since that 4-0 advantage. Massapequa tied it up at 9 at the 5:43 mark, and a minute later, Luke Eschbach put Smithtown East on top 10-9, and that is where we stand with 17 seconds left as Massapequa has had possession for the last 3 minutes. But they've not been able to put one home to tie it up. Trying to do that now with only 17 seconds on their side. Here's Nick Turn being swarmed behind the net. A shot going high again from the stick of Lefty. 10 seconds on the clock. Back in we come. Nick Turn has Vogler on him. Nick Turn with 5 to shoot. Nick Turn up top. Iana looking on the crease. Gets all the way through. Out of bounds. Time runs out. And Smithtown East holds on by a score of 10-9. Well, there's one thing for sure when these two teams get together. One goal will be the difference. Today, 10-9 in favor of Smithtown East. Luke Eschbach, the game winner at 4:34. And Smithtown East has now won 5 straight. They improved to 6-2 on the season, handing Massapequa their first loss of the year. 10-9. We'll be back in a moment, close it all out for you. Plenty more to come on News 12 Varsity.
You watch because it's your home, your school, your team. Because it's your brother, sister, daughter, and son. Because you love the "can you believe it, did you see that?" and the "oh my goodness, what a win" moments. So yeah, you watch. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.
Luke Eschbach, the hat trick today, including the game winner. 10-9, Smithtown East defeats Massapequa. And Luke, I guess first take me through the game-winning goal. What did you see from your end, and how did Connor find you?
Well, Diso dodged. He split to his left, and he rolled back, and he knew he got doubled. He drew two. He moved it to me. I stepped in. The guy came to play me, faked a shot, ran down, saw it open, just took what I had.
And when you guys, you and Massapequa hook up, it seems like every game is a one-goal game. So what is it like? You know, what do they do that brings out the best in you guys?
You know, it's huge because it's a Suffolk-Nassau rival, and every year we come out, no matter how good each of our teams are, it's always a competition. They always get us pumped, and we obviously get them pumped, so it's always a great game.
Between them and Smithtown West, how much have you guys learned about yourselves this week?
Oh, definitely. We learned a lot because we had 3 games this week, and a lot we get tired. And, you know, Smithtown West come out huge rival, obviously biggest in our county. We go against them, and then we have to come back out against a huge Nassau rival. So if we dig deep, we know we can put it through. And
from your spot on the field, what did you see from Herbert today at the face-off X?
He was unbelievable. He came out, he knew Massapequa's face-off guy, very good, and he was ready to play. He did everything he could for our team. He got us a lot of possessions, and we needed that today for the win.
Appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Luke Eschbach with 3 goals today, including the game winner, as Smithtown East continues to roll. They've won 5 straight, and today it was 10-9 over Massapequa. That'll do it for everybody involved in our broadcast. For producer Josh Trebsky, I'm Matt Shortis, saying so long. We'll catch you next time on News 12 Varsity.
It's the reason we keep watching, because of underdogs, crazy comebacks, and the last-minute heroics. Because we love it all. The face-offs, the hits, the big-time goals. Because winning never, ever gets old. So, we keep watching anywhere we can. Never miss a moment. Download the News 12 Varsity app today.